we thought that it would be fun tonight to tell one story from 3 different perspectives. So we all have very different personalities, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And different memories.
Very different memories. And different ways that we, like different perspectives of stories. So we thought that it would just be really fun to share a story we all experienced in our own way.
You're listening to the Calm,
The Storm,
The Whimsy
podcast.
I love to plan things. So I thought it would be a good idea to plan a Valentine's Day scavenger hunt party and invite a bunch of couples and go to Belden Village Mall and make gift bags for each other for Valentine's Day. So the guys were on a team and the girls were on a team, and everybody had to go to different parts of the mall and follow clues. And everywhere the clues led, the people that were at the stores or the carts in the middle of the mall were in on it, and they had the next clue for us after we accomplished what we were supposed to do. So I spent my entire day leading up to that night at the mall planning this, going to different stores, talking to different people, and I was having so much fun and everybody was in on it, and all of the employees loved the idea, and they were taking my envelopes and they were ready for people to come that evening. And the idea was that everywhere we went, we bought something to add to a bag to give a gift to our significant other. Well, I thought that it would be funny to have the girls stop at the CBD cart in the middle of the mall and have to figure out first to get to the CBD cart by the clue, and then to have them give us some kind of like CBD gummy to put in the guy's bag just to be funny as a joke. So I did that, and I think that when I did that part, because I went to a couple different stores, I went to Hot Topic, and everybody had to go there and buy a pin for their significant other that reminded them of them. And we did like an all-natural store where they had to get like a sweet treat for each other. And then the guys had to go to department stores and get different samples of perfume smells that they thought that we would like. And so there was different stuff like that. But then when I went to the CBD store or the CBD cart in the middle of the mall, I think that it set off some signals to the mall security, where I'm thinking if there's a CBD cart in the middle of the mall, it's not a big deal. Like, they're obviously okay being there and selling that stuff. So it wasn't like a major deal. So security comes up to me and says, what is it that you're doing? And I explained it, and they were like, okay, well, you need to come talk to our management office. So they literally escorted me to the management office, where the manager said, you're not allowed to do a scavenger hunt at the mall. Those have to be prior approved like months in advance. And I said, oh, well, we're doing a scavenger hunt at the mall. I've spent my entire day planning it. I have a bunch of couples coming here tonight. It's not like we're teenagers that are going to be running around through the mall. This is happening. And she's like, well, you really have to get prior approval. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Like, all these stores are already cooperating. We're buying something everywhere we go. Like, it's not like we're going to be acting crazy. And she basically kept trying to tell me like we weren't allowed. And finally I talked her into it. And she just said, like, if it gets out of control, they'll stop you. So everybody got there, and I gave directions, and we had like an hour to go do the scavenger hunt, and all the girls went together, the guys went together. We followed our clues. It led us to like get our hair done in the middle of the mall and ride the animals at the mall, like a bunch of Looney Tunes, and go to all these different stores. When we went to the CBD cart, it was hilarious. And the guy there kind of acted like he had no idea what we were talking about. But he ended up opening a package for us and like giving us the gummies as slow as he possibly could. So we wondered if maybe he took things he shouldn't that day. But we went through the hour and we made our gift bags. And then the plan was to meet up with the guys at Dave and Buster's, and we were going to have dinner there and present the gift bags to each other.
Okay, so my version of this story is Hillary plans these amazing things for all these awesome events. So it was like a Valentine's Day party that we all gathered at Dave and Buster's, and we were going to divide into group, like all the guys, all the girls. We were going to go on a scavenger hunt for Valentine's Day and gather little things along the way. So that's what we did. We went from store to store, gathering things. I remember shooting something. I don't remember a ton of details. We might have rode on the animal things. I remember passing the guys and them all awkwardly standing around, walking really far apart from each other. And then we had to go to a CBD gummy stand, and the dude was like, hi. And I knew it was like all a joke, but he's like, when you take these, you can only eat a quarter of it. You can only eat a quarter of it. Do not eat more than that or it'll be not good. I'm like, oh, okay. First of all, I'm not going to eat your gummy, and I can't believe they're giving me this gummy right in the mall. But okay, we'll take it, put it in the bag, and send it along. So we did that. I don't remember all the different stores we went to, but it was a good time and a night to remember because I can remember every detail very clearly.
So Hillary planned this Valentine's Day scavenger hunt event, and we went to Belden Village Mall, and then we were going to hang out later in the evening. And so she had set up this whole extravagant Valentine's Day event, and all of our friends came, spouses, and we were split up into two groups by the women and the men, and we were set off to find different things and create a Valentine's Day bag for our spouse. And so she had gone earlier that day, set it all up, had quite an experience. And we all showed up and were handed like a little gift bag to fill up and go from different stores with different clues and get and buy items from those stores. So we started out, I don't know exactly where we went first, but we shot guns. It was like a fake rifle place or whatever in the mall, which I don't think is still there. But, and then we had to go to Spencer's and we had to pick out a pin that we wanted to give to our significant others. We had to go into a little gift store and buy a gift like mustard or like different like little snack items for our spouses. And then we were tasked with going to a cart, like one of those little stations in the middle of the mall where they sell CBD. And so we went there and we were tasked with getting a sample CBD gummy. And so we were all standing around and we were talking to this guy, and he was like, and he was like a little bit confused about what we were doing, but knew that we were coming. And so he started to give us these samples, and the guy could not hardly get the samples out of the container. And so he's like, okay, like slow, like the sloth trying to get the gummy out of the package. And there was like 5 of us women there that were getting these gummies to put into our husband's bag. And we literally got 5 gummies. I actually got 2 gummies, but like each of us got a gummy from this man at a shop in the middle of the store, in the middle of the mall. And we, like, he told us, was like, if you take this gummy, you won't get out of this mall. So don't take it here. You can't take it. You cannot take this gummy. You will not make it out of the mall. And we were like, okay, like whatever. We weren't even planning on taking them. And so we just put them in our bags and went about our business. But I'm like, literally gave us a gummy from this store. And yeah, so we just did all of the rest of these funny things. I think we went to, I think the men had to go get like a women's perfume from Macy's, and that's how the event started.
So the scavenger hunt is over, and we all meet back for dinner. And I can't even remember how many couples were there. I want to say there was like 5 or 6 couples. So the table was pretty long, full of people. And we're all going around opening our gift bags, and it was super funny. The pins we got each other were funny. There was different stories that we were sharing and interactions we were sharing from when we went into the different stores. And I even think that in Hot Topic, they were like raising money for breast cancer or something like that. And so to be funny, they made the guys ring the bell for boobies or something crazy. And they picked the guy that was like the most uncomfortable to do it. So there's like a lot of laughter going on because of things like that happening throughout the night. So we're opening the gifts, and like everybody opens the CBD gummy, and we're like laughing about it and being ridiculous. And I was like, now listen, like that was just for a joke. It is not supposed to be taken like for real. The guy at the CBD cart told us that if you take this gummy while you're doing the scavenger hunt, you will not make it through the rest of the night. It will take you down. And everybody's like, okay. But Aaron, Crystal's husband, specifically was like, that there is no way that they're giving for free gummies in the middle of the mall that are going to take you down. They're not going to affect you at all. There's nothing major in them. So he takes the gummy and he looks me directly in my eye and he pops it in his mouth, the whole thing. And I will never forget the moment. My mouth dropped. Everybody's laughing at him. And he's like, it's not going to do anything. And I was mortified. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was just supposed to be a joke. I don't even know why you just did that. I told you not to do it. I told you what the guy said. Like, I cannot believe this is happening. And everybody around me is like laughing and telling me like, he's an adult. It's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So I'm like kind of panicky about it because I was just trying to be silly and play a stupid joke. So we go through the rest of the dinner and he was like fine. And then he went to the bathroom and everybody was getting ready to leave. And we went to take a picture and we're like, where's Aaron? He's not here. And he was gone forever, like in the bathroom forever. And so we all waited to take the picture, and then he finally got out of the bathroom and we proceeded to take the picture, and then we left.
So after the hunt, we decided to have dinner. It was awesome. Then we took a picture, but we had to wait because Aaron was missing.
Okay. And so then after we did the scavenger hunt, we went to Dave & Buster's for dinner, and we all sat around our table and started opening our bags of gifts that we had gotten from the scavenger hunt for our husbands. And so, and wives, they got for us too. And so we're going through our bags and we're all like laughing and having a good old time. We order our dinner. We have a couple drinks. And so the guys like open up their bag and they have this gummy inside of a Ziploc bag. And they're all like, what is this? And we're like, oh, we got a CBD gummy for you from the place in the middle of the mall that sells CBD gummies. We got it for free. It's a sample. And they were like, there is no way that you got a CBD gummy for free in the middle of the mall and it's real. And we're like, no, seriously, like the guy giving it to us, we're pretty sure that he had taken a gummy. And so like, this is real. He told us that we shouldn't take the gummy while we were here in the mall because we wouldn't make it out of the mall. And my husband, Aaron, was like, there is no way that a man at a shop in the middle of the mall gave 5 women 5 free real CBD gummies. And we were like, it's true. It literally is true. And so Hillary was like, Aaron like looked at her and he like took the gummy, looked her in the eye and popped the entire gummy into his mouth, chewed it up. By this point, he had a couple drinks and he was like, nothing is going to happen. He's like, there is no possible way that this man gave you a real CBD gummy. So we proceed on for dinner. We're eating. We're still having our drinks. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's having fun. And we're getting ready to take a picture. And Aaron went to the bathroom and he had been gone for like quite a while. So we were like, where did he go? What's going on? Like, did he fall in or whatever? And so finally comes out and we get our picture taken. And he is like, just kept like wiping his nose and rubbing his nose and like just kind of irritable and uncomfortable. But at this point, like I had no idea. I didn't know what was going on and we were still just having fun. And so we're leaving for the night.
So everybody says their goodbyes and we proceed to leave. And we're all heading home for the night. And I get a phone call about 5-10 minutes in, and Crystal is cracking up. And Aaron is basically saying like, so I think the gummy was like real. And they're like, he's totally like high from this gummy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this is happening. I can't believe I'm responsible for this. I was flipping out. And the rest of that night, like Crystal's texting us, freaking out. Like he says his mouth is really dry and he says everything's moving really slow. And like it's half funny and then it's like half she's panicking a little bit because he is like completely like high as a kite from this thing. She's never seen him like this, and obviously no one was expecting it to affect him quite like that, except for I was worried about it. Like I told him I totally warned him not to take it just in case, but he thought he knew better. So like that whole night I was a little nervous. Like I woke up the next morning like, is he okay? Is everything okay? Did he wake up? Is he good? Like panicking. Luckily, everything turned out to be just fine. But one of my favorite things from that night that she tells me about is they got home and her father-in-law, I think, was there watching the kids. And Aaron was just so thirsty that she said he went into the kitchen to get a drink. And she sat down on the couch because it really wasn't that late. And she's like ready to like kind of hang out for the night. And he just turns all the lights out on her and goes upstairs. And so she told us she's just sitting there left in the dark, like, okay, like I wasn't ready to go to bed. And he just went to bed and passed out. And so again, like I couldn't wait to hear the next morning once it all wore off if everything was okay. But the thing that gets me the most now is obviously that affected me to the point where I was like super worried about it affecting him when he took it, feeling responsible for it. And he just thinks it's the funniest thing. So whenever like I'm meeting new people or we're telling somebody stories that don't maybe know us all that well, he just says, Yeah, Hillary got me high one time, and so that will forever live with me that I got Aaron high.
All right. So now we're talking about after dinner, but I do want to clarify. I do remember Aaron downing a gummy because he thought it was a big joke during dinner. So now it's after dinner. We're trying to take a picture, cannot find Aaron. Finally, he comes out of the bathroom. He says he's fine, I think, but he probably wasn't. I don't remember. You guys, this was too long ago for the Whimsy to remember this kind of stuff. Anyway, so what I do remember is we all left, and Crystal was like, you guys, Aaron insisted on driving, and then he didn't know where he was. He didn't know at all where he was. So that's it.
So we're getting ready to leave, and I had been asking Aaron a couple times, like, are you feeling okay? Are you doing okay? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I feel great. He's like, that didn't do anything to me. I was like, okay. Like, and I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't a real CBD gummy. And so we get ready to leave. And so we're walking down the steps. And if you've ever been to the Belden Village Dave and Buster's, there are a million steps down. So we're walking down the steps, and I still am not like really like honed in on what is going on at this moment. But like he turns around as we're halfway down the steps, and he was like, whoa, that's a lot of steps. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, it's a lot of steps. And so then he finishes walking down the steps, and I'm like, okay, let's go. Like we were saying goodbye to everybody. And so we walked to our van, and we were getting in the van, and I still didn't like, nothing had crossed my mind that he wasn't okay. He was very capable, very aware of his surroundings, very capable of knowing what we were doing. We were going home, we were going to our van. And so like, I asked him like one more time, like, are you doing okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm great. I'm like, okay. I'm like, do you want me to drive? And he was like, nope. He's like, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. And like, if the man's going to tell me he's fine, then I'm going to let him be fine, because I'm not going to push the envelope. Like, he seems fine to me. So we get in the car, and we sit there for quite a while. And I'm like, okay, like, he wasn't doing anything, and we were just kind of sitting there. And so then he starts to back out of the parking spot and to go towards the exit. And so as we're driving towards the exit, we pull up to the stoplight, and he sits there. And, you know, nothing's like happening. And so he sits there now we're here for like quite a while. And so we turn right out of the parking lot, and we have been to Belden Village our whole lives. So we spent all of our high school time, most of our 20s, like at Belden Village Mall. We bought our engagement ring there. So he is very aware of his surroundings. He's very aware of like how to get home from there. It's not a difficult drive, all of the above. And so he pulls out onto the main road, and he's driving like 25 miles an hour, like super slow. And I'm like, are you okay? And he looked over at me, and he was like, no. He's like, I have no idea where we're at. And I was like, what? And he was like, I'm going to have to pull back into the parking lot. So he pulls into the parking lot, and he's like, you're going to have to drive home. And I was like, okay. I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. But he's like, I don't know where we're at. He's like, I have been to this mall so many times. I could drive home with my eyes closed. I know this like the back of my hand, but I have no idea where I'm at. It's as if I am in a different city, and I don't know where I'm at. And he's like telling me, he's like, I can envision what turns I have to make and how I could get home, but I don't know where I am. And I'm like, okay. So we switch, and I am driving home, and he's like, keeps looking over, and I'm like, what are you looking at? And he's like, why are you going so slow? And I was like, what? I was like, I'm just going the speed limit. I'm going like 40. And he's like, it seems like we're going like 20. And so like everything for him was starting to hit. And so it was just like this slow motion, like everything's getting really narrow and small, like slow, like the sloth. So then I was thinking in my head, oh, the guy who gave us the gummy was super slow and sloth-like. And so this is what it's doing to Aaron. It is like bringing all of his motor skills like down. And so he thinks we're going really slow, but we're actually going the speed limit, and he just wants to get home, and we are not getting home. So he's agitated. So I call Hillary on the phone, and I'm like, guys, like this gummy hit him. Like he doesn't know where he's at. He thinks I'm driving 20 miles an hour. He's agitated at me. He's uncomfortable. He didn't like how he was feeling. And so we were laughing, like dying laughing, because he was like swore that there was no way impossible that this gummy came from the store for free. They gave it to us. And we were like, absolutely, totally told us that we wouldn't make it out of the mall. And he barely made it out of the mall, barely made it out of the parking lot. And so, I mean, it hit. It didn't hit hard quick, but it hit hard when it did hit. And so then we get home, and my father-in-law was watching our kids. And so they were all in bed, and he was sitting on the couch. And we thanked him, and he left. And I am sitting on the couch, and he starts turning off all of the lights and goes to bed. And I'm like, hello, I'm still here. Like, I'm awake. I'm not ready for bed yet. But he turned all the lights off. He goes upstairs. He goes to bed. And he's like not talking to me. And I'm starting to panic. So I started texting our friend Nicole. And I'm like, what did he take? What were we getting? Like, what kind of sample did we take? Because now I'm starting to panic. Like, is he going to wake up? Is he breathing? Is everything okay? And it just, like, all these thoughts are going through my head. Like, he intentionally took this gummy thinking that nothing would happen to him, and it has hit him hard. And now what? And he did not like how he felt. And he blames Hillary for getting him high on a gummy on a Valentine's Day scavenger hunt. Thank you for listening to the Calm, the Storm, the Whimsy podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay tuned for our next episode. That is not the right button.
That's what she said.
No, don't say stuff like that. You're starting it off with things that you're not going to let him put on
Can
a
you hear?
podcast.
Are you okay?
Why do you do that? Then you're going to be so mad when he puts it on there. Oh, no, we're going to fight right away.
I can't hear you.
She just called me Mom.
Okay, Mom.